Hey guys.
And welcome back to a brand new episode of the Tech Buddies podcast. So, the Apple event just concluded on Tuesday, the 9th of September, and it was kind of a big upgrade in terms of all their announcements, especially the Apple Intelligence features and stuff like that. So, for the summary video, you can check out the YouTube channel. I uploaded the summary of everything that was launched as fast as possible within 10 minutes. So if you want like a quick summary of everything that was launched, you can check that video out. Today we'll kind of have discussions about the devices that were launched, what we liked, what we didn't like, and stuff like that. So since I watched the entire event, um, and I already shared most of the thoughts like the thoughts in the summary video, I think Gautam can start with his thoughts on some of the devices and stuff, and then I'll come back in.
So, for those of you that aren't aware of the event, because this time's event actually wasn't all that big, the products that were launched are the new iPhone 16, the iPhone 16 Pro, the Apple Watch Series 10, and we also got a new set of AirPods, the AirPods 4. And along with that, we got a new color for the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and a slight update to the AirPods Max. It's not a new version of AirPods Max, it's still AirPods Max. And yeah, that kind of is it. But yeah, we can start off with the main breadwinner of Apple, that is the iPhone 16. Um, so the iPhone 16 in its design itself has changed quite a bit this year. Uh, while it retains the same kind of like the same enclosure from the previous years, the camera layout has gone back to a more traditional iPhone like design, with a vertical camera layout instead of a diagonal camera layout that the 15s, the 14s, and the 13s had. And I think it looks quite good. This year, one thing, maybe others are not a fan of it, but personally, what I'm a fan of is that they have really taken last year's problems and addressed it. The biggest problem being that last year's iPhones weren't as colorful as the previous years, and they decided that okay, this year we're going all in for the colors, and now the iPhones are actually quite colorful. Their main selling point itself is the Apple Intelligence, which with most of the features of Apple Intelligence are only going to come out in a few months after the phone's release. So, like the important features that actually make a huge difference, they come after like 6 months. And the problem is that Apple has already started advertising these features. So that's that. Uh, and yeah, there's also I think maybe one big change to the base model. I think since the iPhone 12, maybe this is like the major change, which is there's a new button now. It's not technically a button, but it's a camera control button, and it comes with the A18 chip, which I believe is the same chip that they have put in the Pro iPhone. So we have gone back to the. It's not. Oh, so they have an A19
Okay.
chip. Oh
No, the
damn!
Pros get a 18 Pro.
I really thought
Basically,
that
it's
they.
just one extra core in the GPU, and they get all these ray tracing and all of those
But
features.
it's the same
Ray tracing is
processor.
there on yeah, it's the exact same processor. You get one extra core in the GPU.
Okay,
That's the only
then I think we
difference.
can just
And
say that it's.
you get a new video encoder ISP, and there's a new advanced media feature and stuff. So
Mhm.
which enables faster USB 3 on the Pro iPhones, which the normal iPhones still have USB 2. So basically, it's like a slight upgrade just to keep the difference between the Pros and the normal
Yeah, but
iPhones.
I think we have seen this in previous years also, where like it was the same processor, but then like the GPU cores. This is the same convention they follow with the MacBooks also. They give a
Yeah,
better option of the GPU cores. I realistically you're not gonna see any difference. The colors it comes with are is an ultramarine blue, which looks really nice. A teal color also, which looks really nice. The pink, which in my opinion it's not my favorite kind of pink. Even though I like pink as a color, I don't like this extremely hot pink. But I can see it selling very well because pink is a very widely loved color. The classic white and the classic black are retained, and the black is virtually similar to the exact same as last year's iPhone 15 and even the white. There are two iPhones one is the iPhone 15, I mean 16 Plus, and the iPhone 16. So they haven't changed that in any way. And if I just were to do it, see, most of this event actually was just them demonstrating their AI features. When you do a side by side comparison, like a lot of people are even complaining that this Apple event is one of the most boring events that they have had to witness from Apple. And I think the whole scene is getting slightly saturated. But I'm just doing a side by side comparison between the iPhone 14, the 15, and the 16 just to tell you what is different. One, apart
Wait, I
from
think
the,
since you were talking about the colors, I'm
yeah,
happy that the lead colors what people were expecting, it was nothing close to that. Apple at least made like a decent effort this time around. Last time's colors were way too muted, and then that's why I ended up getting the black. I mean, the other colors you couldn't even see, like figure out anything. Like I saw the blue, the green. The green was fine, but the blue and the pink were very subtle. You couldn't make out anything. This time around, Apple is at least made the colors better. The ultramarine in real life looks so much better than this blue which was leaked. And even the teal looks like very subtle compared to the ones that were leaked before. And I'm happy Apple uh, did well with their colors, because that's a complaint people mostly have with um, iPhone. They don't have like good colors. Even the Pro series get a new color, Desert Titanium, which is like a goldish color. So that is that. You can continue.
yeah. So going back to the comparison, there is no silent switch anymore on, okay, it won't focus, but yeah, there is no silent switch anymore on the iPhones. It goes to the action button, which is shared with the Pros. It is built for Apple Intelligence, as Apple likes to call it, but basically it supports Apple Intelligence. Still runs the six
Designed
core.
designed from ground up for Apple Intelligence.
Yeah, that's what they are claiming it to be. Then 6 core CPU, 5 core GPU, and the new camera control buttons there, which is basically an easier way to capture. If you can probably see some demos and stuff, and you can get a good idea of it. But as a person, now that you have the extra megapixels and stuff, right? It's actually kind of nice to have this, to just like have a quick, like a press here, and then you can just quickly open the camera app, especially for content creators. A lot of these content creators, whether it's reels or YouTube shorts or full-blown videos, also are made on the iPhone. And just having that access, I wish it was programmable, because I don't really use the camera all that much, like on a day-to-day basis. Maybe if I could program it to
I
open
mean, that's
Apple
why the
Music or
action
something like
button
that.
exists, right?
Yeah, so
The
two
action button is
programmable buttons would
programmable.
also have been nice, because I use the silent switch quite a bit. But the action button is nice. I got to check it out recently. And there is an advanced dual camera system, which if you what Apple claims is the iPhone 14 has only a dual camera system. So advanced is basically just 48 megapixel camera, that basically that. And it has super high resolution photos, basically 24 megapixel, 48 megapixel, which is actually a huge thing, because I wanted to have a wallpaper that I took, like of a picture that I took from my phone, and every time I set up a wallpaper, I feel like it's just not sharp enough, or like that it's
Mm-hmm.
lacking details in that way, because Apple zooms the photo for that live effect,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I had a 48 megapixel iPhone, I feel like my experience would have been a lot more better. And I think I also have some shots from the iPhone 15 Pro, and I did a comparison of the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone base model iPhone 14, and the difference is huge. So I think Apple in fact should have upgraded to a higher megapixel camera long back. That's maybe one regret I have as an iPhone 14 user. It now has support for macro photography, which is one thing iPhones, especially the base models, have been lacking for a long time. Uh, you could practically not do any macro shots. You had to bring the phone back, and then either that or take the subject back to make it focus. But when it focuses, it look good. But now it's a bit more easier. Spatial photos and videos because of the rearranged camera layout, and latest generation photographic styles. Now that is one feature I haven't played around with at all. I don't even know if Atharv uses photographic styles. I did switch it to rich contrast for some of the photos, which I found to be better than um, the normal standard mode. But any of the other modes are a bit too flashy for me, so I don't really play around with it. I just let it be. Then 2 hours additional video playback, which is always nice. USB-C, which supports USB 2. Now, there are rumors going on, despite being a USB 2, which in itself is really bad in my opinion. It's still able to support up to 45 watts charging, is what some rumors are floating around, but we're not 100% sure about that. Face ID, 5G, whatever, all those things are same. And now MagSafe is upgraded to 25 watt or 35 watt. With 25 to 30 watt, you can do MagSafe wireless charging, which is faster than some iPhones wired charging also. That being said, I wouldn't suggest to use wireless charging all that much unless really convenient for you. The pricing of the iPhone 16 starts at 79,900, which is standard every year. They launch it at this price, and all the previous models have been bumped down by 10,000 rupees. So the 14 is now at 59,900, and the 15 is at 69,900. We unfortunately have not got a storage upgrade, which I think is also long due from Apple's side, because 128 GB is not cutting it anymore. And me having an iPhone 14 which shoots 12 megapixel photos, I am having an issue with storage. So just imagine the people with an iPhone 15 or an iPhone 16. Here you have no option to manually select your resolution in an iPhone, first of all. So all the photos will be taken on high res. That's what I understand. I mean, I haven't used the iPhone 15 that much. Maybe Atharv, do you have an option to dial it down to 12 megapixel? Maybe there is in settings, I guess. High efficiency or something that might be there. But yeah, I think you can check it out and maybe tell me, because I don't have any high resolution iPhone at home.
So, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to check out.
Yeah, so just imagine the sheer amount of storage that all of these photos will be taken. iPhones, like, people love to take photos of their iPhones, right? So a lot of my friends who have iPhones, including me, we have to delete unwanted photos or transfer it to Google Photos because there's just not enough storage.
Or Apple would just prefer you buy their iCloud storage plan, and they get another additional stream of revenue.
Yeah, that
which they obviously want. Their services revenue is almost $1 billion or something like that. So I think talk about the chip a bit, because it's a new chip and it's a big upgrade from the A16 Bionic. So basically now you get a 16 core neural engine which is optimized for running the Apple Intelligence features on device. So that was one of the major upgrades over the A16 Bionic, and that's the reason why one is this and one is the lesser RAM that the iPhone 15 has, and that's why unfortunately the iPhone 15 non-Pro series will not be able to get the Apple Intelligence features, and that's why I wouldn't recommend getting the iPhone 15 or 14 or 13 right now, because Apple Intelligence and AI features in general is like a huge thing right now. If you see like or even like budget phones like Techno, Infinix, and all of those are getting AI features under 20K. So it's kind of a shame that iPhone 15 doesn't get the AI features. And I solely blame Apple for that. But that aside, coming back to the A18 chip, it's supposed to be 2 times faster for ML features and things like that. And they've added 17% more memory bandwidth. So I think that's kind of additional RAM or something like that, which is built into the chip because memory. And then you get a 6-core CPU, 2 performance cores, 4 efficiency cores. And Apple claims that this CPU is 30% faster than the CPU present in the iPhone 15 and 60% faster than the CPU present in the iPhone 12. So um, I think this comparison is fair. I mean, people say that why is Apple comparing to such old phones, but then it makes sense because most people who have the iPhone 12 are considering to upgrade and things like that. So you get like a 60% faster CPU than the iPhone 12, and both the CPU and the GPU uses 30% less power than the A16 Bionic. So not only is it more powerful, but it's also more energy efficient. The GPU is a 5-core GPU. It's 40% faster than the A16 Bionic and 2 times faster than the GPU in the iPhone 12. So if you're gaming and you need like the ray tracing features and stuff, so that will be a huge performance improvement over the older iPhones. Talking about gaming, apparently Apple has added a thermal substructure that is made of aluminum, which will help with thermals and increase the sustained performance by 30% according to them. And like I said, ray tracing is now supported. And the good thing is Android phones have not been able to get support for AAA games, whereas Apple with their connections have been able to get AAA games to be played on the iPhone, like Resident Evil, Biohazard, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and they also announced a new game, Honor of the Kings World, which is, I think, probably made by Tencent or something. But this is another AAA game which you can play on the iPhone, and um, you also get 5 times faster frame rates and things like that because of the ray tracing and all of those things. So, gaming wise, although you'd think that Android phones have more power and things like that, but actually gamers also prefer the iPhone. So, gaming wise, iPhones are also ahead. Other things, emergency features, I don't think they're in India, but in US, UK, you get the emergency satellite features and things like that. And another new feature they announced is that if you call 911, you can also now share your live video with them. So that's a good thing for more, like it's easier to understand for them. Um, Satellite messages. I think you, Gautam, you experienced that in
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
went to London. How was it like?
I never used it, but I just wanted to know if the feature worked. Uh,
Okay, so
so
you
I
didn't
was
send any
happy that it at
message.
least worked. Yeah, I sent Athar a screenshot because I myself had never seen that logo when I was in India. So it was nice to use, but I understand and think it's used only for emergency purposes. So I didn't really want to fiddle around with
No,
it.
but then no, I think you can use it for normal stuff also, right?
No, but I
The
didn't have a
initial.
carrier also when I was there, so it wouldn't have sent
Uh-huh. Okay.
anyways. So I guess we
Yeah,
could
so
sub.
those were
Yeah, no, you can.
yeah, so those are the features for the iPhone 16. I think it's a good upgrade, especially if you're coming from the iPhone 12 or even the iPhone 13.
I would say the iPhone 11, the iPhone 13, in my opinion, if you don't use the AI features, which I really don't know how many people would use because most people I know don't even use Siri. Like my mom has it disabled, my dad has it disabled, many of my classmates don't use it, and I'm the only one who's trying to convince them to use Siri because it's a lot more faster for doing things like just calling your contacts instead of having to search through your contacts. Just tell Siri call this person, and it does it in seconds. But yeah, the new iPhone 16 also is the exact same compared to the iPhone 15 when it comes to dimensions. So obviously the case won't fit each other because of the redesigned camera layout, but it is 1 gram lesser in weight. So that's a trend that they have been following with each iPhone. The iPhone 13
Innovation.
was, yeah, the iPhone
They've
13
innovated
was,
a lot.
yeah, the iPhone 13 was 173 grams, I think, and the iPhone 14 was 172, and 15 was 171, and 16 is 170. Um, Crazy levels of innovation from Apple's end. And uh, it has a 48 megapixel fusion camera. Now, what I understand their fusion thing is basically they have an anti reflective lens coating on their camera lens, which was needed in the iPhone because a lot of these shots, especially if you take it in the daylight, especially outside, you can see like a green dot or like a white dot. iPhone users will know what I'm talking about, especially if you take live photos, you can clearly see it. And this was one thing that was needed. And it has macro photography that I have already mentioned before. Another few changes is that it now has wind noise reduction in the videos, which honestly I felt like the iPhone's always tackled quite well. But if it has further wind noise reduction, it's good. And it also has audio mix. One thing I feel like the iPhones kind of suck at is that the iPhones, when that voice isolation feature when you are making a call is absolutely horrible. It sometimes cuts out words that people are saying. Sentences don't sound right. It changes people's voice. So I would just say use it in wide spectrum or something like the normal feature. Don't that Apple has to fix no matter what. I, I think the if I'm not wrong, the camera also remains the same both in the front. I think the front it's high time for an upgrade to maybe a 24 megapixel resolution front camera. And even in the back, the main camera is the same. I think the ultra wide camera, the focal length or something is changed. It has the same emergency SOS or whatever that tech, whatever Athar was saying. But it does have Wi-Fi 7 now. The previous generation didn't have Wi-Fi 6E, so it only had Wi-Fi 6. So now it has Wi-Fi 7, which is technically the best. So that's nice. It has this thing called thread networking technology. I do not know what that is, but yeah, it has that. Then I think, yeah, I'm not going to go through the entire spec sheet. 2 more hours of battery life. I mentioned it before, but actually, it's really nice to have. Like any extra battery life is always appreciated. Now we can move on to uh, the iPhone
I think
16 Pro. Yeah, you can.
one discussion which everyone talks about when the iPhones come out is 60 hertz, and
Oh yes, yes,
I
that
feel
is.
I feel it's time iPhone finally moves on to 120 hertz. But a lot of people say that normal people don't care about 60 hertz and things like that. And I've switched from an Android phone. I mean, I never used a 120 hertz Android phone. I mean, my previous Android phone also had 60 hertz. So I don't get the comparison. But uh, recently this Snazzy Labs, who's a creator, he was talking about it. So basically he said that he's moving to the iPhone upgrade program, so he needed to figure out what to do with his wife's iPhone since she usually gets his hand me down. So basically he thought of getting her the iPhone 16. So he set his iPhone 15 Pro to 60 hertz to see if she noticed the change. And her first comment was that it's laggy. So basically, normal people may not know about high frame rate promotion and stuff like that, but they subconsciously sense it. And this really better be the last iPhone with 60 hertz, and I feel that's true. Although, uh, like even my mom, her iPhone 13 Pro has 120 hertz, but then when her back display had broken and we had to give it to the service center for 3 days, she was using my iPhone 15, which comes with 60 hertz, and she never complained or anything about like it being laggy or anything like that. So overall, in terms of animation and software optimization, Apple has done does a good job overall. But then still, I mean, they should just
Like how
and the
every year
size of the
they.
display has been the display size has been increased, right? It's now
Yeah, by like
6.3 inch on the 16 Pro,
0.40
and
centimeters.
no, not the bezels. The legit display size has been
Yeah, yeah,
increased
that's
from
what. By
6.1 inch to
0.40
6.3
centimeters, it's
inch.
been increased.
Yeah, 6.1 inch to 6.3 inch on the 16 Pro and 6.7 inch to 6.9 inch on the 16 Pro Max, making the iPhone 16 Pro Max display the largest iPhone display ever.
I think the best Pro model in these 14, 15, and 16 Pro is still the 14 Pro, because I feel like the bezels were kind of even with the dynamic island, and the newer ones just don't look that even with the dynamic. It's a very controversial take. Maybe people won't like it, but yeah. Moving on to the colors, desert titanium, which is kind of like a gold. It reminds me of the kind of like the iPhone XS Max, but not uh, as saturated as that. Or the iPhone 13 Pro had a goldish color as far as I remember. Then there's natural titanium, which is similar to last year's natural titanium, but it's a lot more brighter actually than white and black, which they always retain. So you can see it. It kind of does look similar to the iPhone XS's gold. Then the action button is there like last year's, which is nothing new. A 6 core CPU, 6 core GPU, same as last year's. It has the camera control thing. It has 48 megapixel ultra wide, which the previous years does not have. So I'm glad that they finally made this. It has super high resolution photos, same feature what was there last year. The big thing is that it can shoot Dolby Vision up to 4K at 120 frames per second, which honestly, if anyone has used like have seen those videos that are shot in Dolby Vision, they are really, really nice to watch, and they feel very, very cinematic. I think iPhone has nailed it when it comes to videography, and Android phones are just not able to match. I would say Samsung's photography has really leveled up. Even the older Samsung phones tend to do quite well compared to the iPhone, but videography, there is no contention. Also, the zoom goes up to 5x optical zoom. Last year was only 3x, so which is nice to see anytime, any. Yeah, and one more thing is 4 hours of additional video playback, likely because of the improved efficiency of the new processors, which is huge in my opinion. And if you like go back to the 14, 50, I mean 16 Pro Max, it's gonna be a huge difference when it just comes to battery life. I mean, 33 hours of video playback is crazy in my opinion. Both the phones have USB-C, supports up to USB 3. Then other features, again, like the iPhone 16 also does faster MagSafe charging, and Apple could have really cheapened out and not given the faster MagSafe charging to the newer 16s also, but I think they kept it. The 16 Pro Max starts at 256 GB, which I think was the same for last year. Yeah, 256 GB, because the 128 GB variant with the 14 Pros or whatever didn't have specific features, and there was that whole outrage with it. The base model 16 Pro still comes with only 128 GB, which is criminal in my opinion. They should just start with 256. They're charging so much. Then display size increase that we already mentioned. The 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, and the 16 come with 1 nit minimum brightness in the display, which is one thing I did not mention. Then going back to the comparison, I think display wise for the 15 and the 15 Pro, there it seems to be the same one. Like Athar said, there is 0.2 inch difference in the screen size, and height is also changed, width is also changed, depth is the same. Weight they have increased. So last year it was 187. If you guys remember the whole fiasco with the Pro models, especially the Pro Max being less durable. Now that they've increased the weight, will it make a difference? That is also another question. And yeah, the weight is 199 grams, which is kind of on the heavy side. Then apart from that, it's just those small, like actually, if you don't go to the spec sheet, you won't notice any of these big changes. Again, this also gets the anti-reflective lens coating, which I already thought that the 15 Pros and the Pro models had, but apparently they did not. And I don't know why the 15 Pro cannot shoot spatial photos, but the 16 Pro can do that now. And wind noise reduction also comes to this phone. Audio mix is some feature that this phone has. And the studio quality microphones, they have new microphone 4 mic array, which will give you much better audio quality. So I think a lot of musicians and people who record a lot of videos, they would really appreciate this. I know a lot of, I mean, it's not personally, but I have seen a lot of musicians who record drafts or vocals of their songs, and sometimes they even implement it in the final song on their iPhones. So with this improvement in the microphone, maybe you can notice some of your new songs from your favorite artists having better audio quality, because a lot of them
And
use their
since you're at that, now voice memos also has the option of layering audio on, like suppose you have a background track which is running, which is like the beats or whatever, and then you want to just try and match some lyrics to that beat. You can basically play the background track while recording the new track on top of that. So that's pretty interesting. And later on, once the whole thing is compiled and you want to listen only to the vocals, so Apple, you can use the AI thing, and then you can mute the background and just listen to your voice as well. So that way, it's a good thing for musicians if they want to maybe like test their vocals on some kind of background and I mean ideate and this thing that way. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it was always possible in iPhones with GarageBand, but here it's more simpler now that you
Yeah,
have
it's
these
just on
features
the voice
in
memos
voice
app.
memos. And Wi-Fi 7 in this phone too, so that's faster the Wi-Fi standard, it's always better. I think let me not waste any more time. Let's move on to the next product, because I wanted to keep the entire video within 30 minutes, but it's clearly not gonna, I mean, episode under 30 minutes, but it's clearly not gonna happen. Moving on to the Apple Watch Series 10, I think Athar can cover this one because he is an Apple Watch user, so it would make more sense if he covered it.
I'll quickly, I think it's not a big upgrade. Although people are telling that it's the 10th generation of the Apple Watch, Apple will do something great because even the iPhone 10 was like a huge upgrade. So people are expecting something big. So that didn't happen. They did change the design. Now you get the biggest display on the Apple Watch ever, and it's the thinnest design ever as well. So the screen is almost 30% bigger than the Series 6, and some, I think it's on their website. The comparison, I think I sent the picture to Gautam. The comparison with the Apple Watch Series 3, it looks so big compared to the Series 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that way is the and the screen is apparently bigger than the Apple Watch Ultra 2 as well. So you get a huge display, which makes it easier to view when you are like, suppose you want to, you just want to glance your eye at the time at a, not like, not at this like direct angle. If it's a side eye angle, it makes it easier to like check your time or quickly glance at your notifications or anything like that. um, there are new colors, so you get a new jet black color, which is a polished aluminum finish, and you also get a rose gold color, and there's the natural silver color which was there before also. You also get new titanium polished finishes. If you, apart from the aluminum ones, you now get titanium finishes as well. So if you want that, but it's kind, in India at least the prices are really expensive for those. Um, they have improved the speakers as well, so you can now play media and podcasts directly through the speaker of the Apple Watch. So that's a good thing. Gautam recently shared me an image of him playing a video on the Galaxy Watch. So I think something similar is now possible with the Apple Watch as well. So
But
that's a
this
good thing.
was
You of
within the
course,
YouTube app. So, I mean, the YouTube browser. So the browser was entirely functional on that uh,
yeah. So
watch.
I don't know how it's going to work here. So
Yeah.
you'll have to see that. You obviously get a new chip with a 4-core neural engine to perform all the AI stuff like double tap, which is feature. I don't know. It still doesn't work as intuitively. Like I have to press like 2 3 times and then it works. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
they've improved on that. But the new health features this year is, I mean, the new sensors this year. You get a new depth sensor and a water temperature sensor. So if you're a swimmer or a diver, you get additional metrics for you to track. So that's a good thing. Coming to the health features, you get a new sleep apnea alert. So basically, uh, the Apple Watch uses the accelerometer to determine the breathing difficulty you have while sleeping, and that's called sleep apnea. And it will analyze that information it's gathering from the accelerometer over a period of 30 days, and it will give you a notification if you possibly have sleep apnea. So that's the new health feature for this year. Um, yeah, that's all about the Apple Watch. The price is 399 in the US for the GPS version, and then there's infinite more versions. So it's hard to talk about the pricing as such. But coming to the Indian pricing, it's been increased by 5,000 rupees. So that's a bad thing. The 42, I mean, now before the sizes were 41 and 45 so that's increased by 1 So now you get a 42 and a 46 option. So the 42 aluminum polished GPS version starts at 46,500. It used to be 41,000 before. So that's a lot of money, I think. And at this point, I think I don't know if it's really worth it anymore. You can get the Galaxy Watch for like 30,000, the latest one. Uh, So I don't know. I mean, if you want like accurate health tracking, like my uncle, he uses the Apple Watch and it's connected to his father. So basically, my grandfather, he's sick, so he uses the uh, blood oxygen sensor and all of those to track my grandfather's health and things like that. So in that cases, it does make sense. But when you're paying so, if you can get it for cheaper from the US, if someone is coming and he can get it for you, that way it
And
makes sense. But
for
in
an
India,
average person that doesn't, I've seen so many people that have Apple Watches, they don't wear it to sleep. They don't use it at all. They use it as a normal watch. Is it really worth
since you
spending?
talked about Since you
Yeah.
talked about sleep, I think the charging has also been increased. Now, if you charge it for 30 minutes, you can charge from 0 to 80%. So that's a good thing for people who want to do sleep tracking. You don't
But
have
the
to charge
battery
it
life has
overnight
not
or anything.
improved.
No, the
That is
battery life
one
hasn't improved.
problem that Apple could have addressed, but they did not address. I think, yeah, we let's not waste any more time because it's not that new. But other overall, you don't feel the need to upgrade to the newer Apple Watch, right?
No.
because like I feel like even if someone handed a Series 7 to the average Apple Watch Series 10 user, the Series 9 user, they would not feel the need of getting a
Yeah,
new Apple Watch, because the Apple Watch
the
is,
new features, the new features are only coming in terms of the health tracking, or they're just increasing the size of the display a bit and things like that.
what
The
would
Apple
be,
Watch Ultra gets a new color, so you get a satin black color, and you get a new titanium Milanese loop. So basically, especially if you're buying from India, you're paying a lot for the watch. Now you pay even more for it, and if you want to spend even more on your Apple Watch Ultra, you can get the new Hermes bands, which weren't available before. So the Hermes bands are now available for the Apple Watch Ultras as well. So
I
if you want
don't
to
think
spend
it's
maximum
available in
money,
India though. I don't see an
oh,
option.
I'm sorry, then you can't spend. I think you can't spend even more money on your Apple Watch Ultra
And
to
the
flex
Apple
in
Watch
front of
Ultra with the
everyone.
titanium Milanese loop will set you back around 1,05,000 rupees for a watch. So
Congratulations, you have
uh,
successfully made it.
yeah, it's a carbon neutral strap, whatever that means. But yeah, I can't wait to see a couple of rip-offs because I don't see the real
There
deal
there are
all that
there are
much.
so many ripoffs already of the Apple Watch Ultra. You see like five people around which wearing the same design as the Apple Watch Ultra, and all of them are
Yeah, but
fake.
I can't wait
At
to
this
see it
point, it's
in the black color now. So I guess
yeah,
that was the only
that's
thing
something
that
to
was
look
left.
forward to. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah, so I think
Since
we'll
you were
move
talking
on.
about eco-friendly or whatever carbon neutral, so there
Mhm.
are a few things Apple is doing to reach their mission of being entirely carbon neutral by 2030 or whatever their goal is. So now you won't be getting Apple stickers in the Apple box. So
Yeah,
that's a sad thing. But however, you
saved
can
a
request for
lot of
free
trees
stickers.
just removing the stickers.
So, but if you want the stickers, you really love them, you can ask the Apple Store employees for free stickers. They'll give you that. So
If
that's
you
a
are
good thing.
buying the product
Uh,
from Apple.
from yeah. Yeah, I mean, they won't simply give you stickers, obviously. And the other thing is they've removed the cable from the AirPods Pro 4 box, apparently. So you don't get a cable with the box. But some people are telling it doesn't matter anyways because the cable is so small, it gets lost easily. And anyway, since it comes with Type C now, you have like a long cable anyways, which you can use to charge. So the cable didn't make sense for your phones anyways because they give like a really small cable. But yeah,
I use the cable that I got with my AirPods on a daily. I think the length
is
is
it
the
long
same.
enough?
I think it's the same length. I don't know. I haven't really done like length comparison and things like that, but I have not used the cable that I've got with my phone till now. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a normal USB-C to Lightning cable as far as I know. I think they should have still included it. I mean, in the name of cost cutting, I don't know what and all they're doing. The AirPods 4 sits at 12,900, which in itself is expensive. If they could somehow fit it in the 10K bracket, it would have been a lot more better. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a new AirPods. Looks a bit different
and I
from
think that
the.
was the best announcement of the overall event. The
Yeah, even I
AirPods
would say
got
it's
like
their
a
best announcement.
significant
The
upgrades and stuff.
AirPods 3 is now replaced with the AirPods 4, and the design has been changed a bit. It looks more like the EarPods, which I don't know where it is right now, but yeah, the earphones. It comes with the H2 chip. I will actually do the comparison with the AirPods third gen, so that the AirPods third gen came with the H1 chip, and there's actually two variants of the same AirPod now: AirPods 4 and AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation, like how the AirPods Gen 2 came with wireless charging and without wireless charging, but here it's actually a more useful feature like active noise cancellation. It comes with so the version with active noise cancellation comes with obviously all those features like conversational awareness, transparency mode, uh, adaptive audio, and it's the active noise cancellation is obviously not as good as the ones in the AirPods Pro 2s or the AirPods. Probably the same as the normal AirPods Pro because that's what they mentioned. Because the AirPods Pro 2 specifically, they say two times the active noise cancellation. Personalized spatial audio comes in all. I think it was also there in the previous years. Has the same force sensor that the other AirPods has. Has 1 hour less of battery life, which is crazy in my opinion. That they had the audacity to even decrease the the listening time on the
Is
earbuds,
it
which
the one with the ANC?
both are 5 hours of listening time on charge, which is horrible in my opinion. They should be increasing it instead of decreasing it. I don't know what kind of mindset they had when doing this, but yeah, that's that. The base model AirPods 4 does not come with wireless charging. That you are paying more. First of all, the previous gen came with MagSafe wireless charging. Now you're only getting USB-C charging case, so they are doing cost cutting there. Works with an Apple Watch charger, Qi certified, includes speakers for Find My. That is all of the specs for the active noise cancellation. So if you just see the base model AirPods 4 and the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation has a 5,000 rupees difference. And this is where they're trying to squeeze out that money, in
Push
my
you to
opinion.
get the
Yeah.
yeah.
Or to push you to get the AirPods 4 with active noise. AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. When you reach the 18,000 price range, you're like, might as well spend 2,000 more and get the AirPods Pro. For those people who are fine with the design of AirPods Pro. There's Hey Siri in all of them, which is I think the AirPods Siri detection is horrible. You have to literally scream the word Siri and everyone else will be staring at you when you use it. So I never use the Siri detection on the AirPods. Then it comes with voice isolation, which is nice. The previous generation did not have that. So you can, which is one problem the third gen AirPods had. A lot of users who used the third gen AirPods told me that they just feel like it wasn't loud enough. Even when talking to other people or when listening to music, just the sheer amount of audio that just passed through from the surroundings, it wasn't a pleasant thing. And one more thing that used to happen is a lot of dirt used to get caked up in uh, the meshes, and it used to make the AirPods quieter. And then people used to think there's something wrong with their AirPods because nobody wanted to clean it. Then there's a vent system for pressure equalization, which I assume is for it makes more sense for the active noise cancellation variant, because a lot of people they feel that pressure, like that pressure in their ear or like a suction effect when they put noise cancellation. So this will obviously help with that. This has an optical in-ear sensor, so basically better skin detection, which the older AirPods did not have. And also it has those accelerometers and things, which in fact I might make a shot on it, like maybe in a couple of weeks or something like that. Then controls are virtually the same except for the Siri interactions, and the dimensions are actually has decreased a bit in height. Width remains the same, so if it's becoming smaller, nice. Weight is increased by 0.02 grams, so you're not going to really notice that difference. And with active noise cancellation, you get only 4 hours of battery life with the earbuds, which is, I don't know, in my opinion, less. Yeah, I think that is it for the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation and the AirPods 4. The Bluetooth version has also increased to Bluetooth 5.3. The older one had 5.0. I mean, granted, the older one is dated. In the box, it mentions that the USB-C charge cable is sold separately. So, like Atharv said, that is not going to come with your device. That is it. I mean, the other products were also so lackluster that this was the one that mainly excited people. It was the only one that truly felt kind of new. That's why people were a bit excited for it. And this does not have the volume increase and decrease thing that the AirPods Pro has. So it only has the force control. It does not have the touch control also. That's that. Yeah, but I would say the AirPods Pro 2 is the best, in my opinion. And if you can still get the AirPods 3, it is not a bad device. And it has, especially compared to the base model AirPods 4, I would say the AirPods 3 is better than it, simply because of the charging case and its additional capabilities. Because the base model, anyways, doesn't come with the Find My features. At least you're getting MagSafe charging with the AirPods 3. So that's my personal take on the AirPods 3 and the AirPods 4 comparison. Do you have anything to add, Arthur?
No, I think the AirPods 4 getting ANC itself is like a huge innovation because it's like the open
Yeah,
this thing design, and Apple is using their H2 chip and their AI magic to get this done. So that's a good thing. Um, The more exciting thing for me is the health features which they've added to the AirPods Pro 2. So uh, they've basically added three things. I mean, two things. One is under prevention. So basically, 1 in 3 people, according to them, are exposed to loud environments. So basically, to uh, do protect that, they're now adding hearing protection. So basically, the H2 chip can now reduce like extremely loud noises, and I mean, it won't mute them completely. So if you're in a concert or something, it'll just reduce the intensity of the instruments being played and stuff, so that your ears are not damaged. So that's a good thing. The second part is awareness. So basically, 80% of people in the US don't know that they probably have a hearing problem or something like that. So basically, to tackle that, Apple now has a hearing test. So basically, you wear your AirPods on and you just uh, turn on the hearing test, and then it'll give you the option to click on the screen when you hear certain frequencies, and based on that, you get a result. The third and the most important part, and which I think is the best, basically Apple says that 75% of uh, people have untreated hearing loss. So basically, a hearing aid is like, first of all, it's very expensive. So basically, the cheapest hearing aid you can get is $1,000, and maximum it goes up to $6,000. So that's a lot of money for people. So the Apple AirPods 2 with its uh, features like the conversation awareness or live captions or whatever, transparency mode combined with live listen mode. Basically, they've used those two features, and now the AirPods Pro 2 can be used as a certified hearing aid. It's approved by the FDA, so that's like a crazy thing. You're saving like insane amounts of money on hearing aid. So that's a really good thing. And I
While
remember
getting a
like
good set of earphones along with it.
yeah, I remember like back in April, this creator Mukul Sharma, he had tweeted about the AirPods Pro 2, that his grandfather, who's been using hearing aids for more than 5 years now, he tried the Apple AirPods Pro for the first time in his life, and he says that the transparency mode combined with the live listen mode has turned out to be far better than the medically prescribed ones, as he can hear things way better now. So um, Apple taking that insight or whatever it is and actually officially making it a hearing aid which is FDA approved. So that's kudos to Apple. That's like crazy.
Yeah, even I think that was the major thing. In fact, I already knew a couple of people who used to have, who had given their grandparents a set of AirPods just for this live listen feature, which even I use personally. It was very like I found it to be very loud and things like the live listen feature. So I don't use it that much, but I can really see the price being justified for some users. Like how the Apple Watch's price is justified for some specific users, especially people of the older age demographic, because of the sheer amount of features that are actually helpful for them. So that was one more thing. Then some smaller changes, like we had spoken about when the WWDC event happened. That is the nod your head to accept the call or shake it to decline. That has come out. Some
You
sound
got the
improve.
update, right? Have you used it ever?
No, I haven't used it till now. In fact, I think if I disconnect my AirPods, let's see if it. Oh no, but it's the thing is I need iOS 18 also on this. I think. Wait, let me just check my AirPods version on both devices, and then I will tell you. Maybe we can do a live demonstration uh, during this meeting. Let me just check the AirPods version. 7A294. 7A294.
Till then, AirPods Max gets a very small update. Basically, they had to include USB-C to the AirPods Max as well, so they've done that. And along with that, they've added new colors, so you get a new midnight, a blue, a purple, a green, and a starlight. So basically, for all those people who are spending atrocious amounts on the AirPods Max, you now get new colors. So enjoy. I'll show you the colors if
Wait,
you want Atul Gautam
I
figures.
think what we can do is you can try to call me, and wait, give me a second. You can try
Uh,
to call me and let me see if it even asks me to. Probably won't because I'm on. It doesn't work.
I
I
think
think
you
it.
don't have the
I
right
think it.
version or whatever.
No, I think I have the right version, but the problem is my phone is not on iOS 18. So
Ah,
only
that's what.
my iPad was on iOS 18, so I received the pop up on my iPad, and the call first goes to my phone and then redirects to the iPad. So it won't. It probably won't work. Maybe we can do a reshoot of this once iOS 18 comes out and see if the feature
It's
works.
coming out. It's coming out day after tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
so it's coming out day after tomorrow, and I guess it's a holiday for me. So if you're able to shoot it then, or maybe next week's episode, we can include it as the end episode thing. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode, right? We don't have anything else to add.
yeah, while we are talking about iOS 18, it's coming out on 16th. So that iOS version won't contain most of the Apple Intelligence features. So that's one thing you need to note. The iOS 18, obviously, you have the other features like arranging your icons wherever you want, changing the theme from dark mode, or what you can put your customized tints, and you get the new control center. All of those features will come out on 16th, but all of the Apple Intelligence features will come in the iOS 18.1 update, which will either come on fall, or some of the features are tuned to come next year. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. And on that note, I think we can end this episode.
Yeah, I will catch you guys in the next episode.